So this is the last part of the information section, and I just want to talk briefly about practicing. It may seem obvious, but the way to learn an instrument is to practice. I've taught a lot of people that will practice for maybe 1 or 2 hours a week, but in one session. So they might wait until the weekend and then on a Saturday do a couple of hours or even more. But the trick to getting the best results from your practicing and for developing faster is to do regular practice. Now, it's great if you could spare hours every day to practice, but realistically, I don't think many of us have that kind of time to spare to do that. But you will develop quicker and better if you practice on more of a regular basis. Now, it doesn't need to be for ages. You could do just 5, 10, 15 minutes every day, and I can guarantee you'll get more results out of that than just wait until the weekend to do an hour or two. Ideally, you should try and practice for half an hour every day and then get in longer sessions when you can. So if you could do, I don't know, half an hour Monday to Friday, maybe have a day off in that, that's fine. And then on a weekend, on a Saturday, do a 2 or 3 hour session or an hour, whatever you can spare. But like I say, if you have time restraint problems with that, then even if you can just get 5 minutes in every day, and you will see improvements. Maybe not as quick as if you're doing 15 minutes to half an hour every day, but you will see better improvements than just sitting down once a week and doing a session. Now, the further you develop and the further along your musical journey you go, the more enjoyable you're going to find practicing anyway. Now, I'm not saying that practicing in the early stages isn't enjoyable, but as we all know, when you take up a new thing, it can be frustrating learning something new. I've never been the type of teacher that's going to go on at my students about practicing. The way I see it is, if you want to learn, you're going to practice. If you don't want to learn, you're not going to practice. But I will always tell my students the same things my teacher told me. And it's basically a hypothetical situation. So let's say there's a song you want to learn, and somehow we can see into the future and we know that this song is going to take us 30 hours to learn. If you practice for 1 hour every month, that's going to take you 30 months to learn that song. That is 2.5 years. If you practice for an hour every week, then it's going to take you 30 weeks. If you practice an hour a day, it's going to take you 30 days. I would much prefer to learn a song in a month than 2.5 years. Now, obviously, we can't see the future, and it is just a hypothetical situation, but the moral is basically, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. Something that I've always found interesting, that I've observed throughout my years of teaching, is some people do take to the basics, the early stages of playing, really quickly. And some people, it takes them longer and it seems harder. So my words of advice to the people who find the early stages quite straightforward and just work through it and find it easy enough is, be prepared to find something to come across something that you find difficult, and make sure you're ready to put in some work to get past that obstacle. Believe me, it's worth the effort. It's incredibly rewarding. And my words of advice to the people who find the early stages difficult is, basically think yourself lucky that you're learning the skill of hard work at an early stage. It really is going to be one of the greatest things that you'll learn how to do.